Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, everyone, and Miss Tita. So we're from Group 14, consisting of Della, Hani, and Bunga. Would like to presenting about analysis of selling and sales management practice at PT.GFDI. Okay, so the first one is sales organization structure. On top of it, there's country head marketing and sales that divided into 5 categories. The first one is modern trade and general trade and regional, and then international or export, food service or B2B, and then commercial enablers. In the modern trade, there's head of modern trade, key account manager, area sales manager, and merchandiser team. On the general trade or regional, there's head of regional, and then RSM, West, Central, and East. And then there's area sales manager, distributor manager, and third-party distributor partners. For international or export, there's country head and regional retailers, relationship team. And for food service or B2B, there's head of service and consultative sales team. And then the last one is commercial enabler. There's trade marketing manager and sales analyst and administration team.
And then we move on to research methodologies. So for the research approach, we use qualitative with interview techniques. And for the data collection, we collect the data in a depth interview via Zoom videos.
Now move on to the sales environment analysis, which are we divided into internal and external. For internal, they have a coaching and direction from the related party regarding the decisions that will be taken. Also, there are the existence of PDR as a tracking tool related to the KPI. Also, mid-year and year-end reviews that are conducted. For external, they establish a good relationship with sales. They also visit the outlet either formally or informally. Also, they do adjusting sales to the needs of each region.
Okay, moving on to the sales perspective analysis. The first one is people and culture perspective. There's PDR as a basis for developing individual competences and targets. And then there's collaborative work environment between sales, SPG, supply chain, and retailers. And then the second one is performance orientation. There's 4P implementation execution according to the modern retail category. And then display management and temperature monitoring for fresh products with a routine field reporting, internal and third party for objective validation. And then the last one is selling behavior and market execution. There's mid-year and year-on reviews to keep progress on track, and then bonuses and incentives to motivate achievement.
And next, we move on to the sales technique analysis. So PT.GFDI is having 5 sales technique analysis. So the first one is like a planning. So with the 4P execution, sales determines the product, price, place, and promotion strategy according to the type of the store and target. The second one is implementation. With display handling, sales arrange the product in chiller according to the target visibility, makes the PT.GFDI visible and achievable. And then the third one is monitoring. So with monitoring, SPG or third party have a role on display checking, temperature, expiry, and each other. That letter will be sent to the sales team. The fourth one is feedback. So feedback from the stores and supply chains will be used for service improvement. And the last one is corrective control. So direct treatment allow a quick corrective action. So in overall, PT.GFDI are not focused on one-time action, but continuous execution cycle where the internal strategy met the external market demands, support by real-time monitoring and rapid corrective action.
Okay, now move on to sales management analysis. They primarily use the pull strategy to create a strong consumer demand for its premium products. They also uses the performance development review or PDR to set a specific and customized objectives for each employee annually. And last, they also implemented through data sharing to generate accurate order parameters, which this help the team adjust stock based on seasonal fluctuations and regional demand differences.
Okay, moving on to the sales control analysis. The first one is performance management cycle. From the objective setting, the target for sales distribution and promotion are defined at the start of the year. Then for the periodic review, routine monitoring to check if results are on track or off track and determining immediate solution. The second one is supply control or using pull strategy. From demand driven uses a pull strategy to prevent overstocking due to product short shelf life, approximately 40 days. And then for the precious forecasting, order quantities are calculated based on sales baseline plus promo uplift plus 10% buffer. Then the third one is quality assurance. From cold chain integrity, there's strict mandatory control of chiller temperature from 0 to 4 degrees Celsius to prevent spoilage. And for bad stock control, the sales performance is heavily measured by the ability to keep return rates and waste low. And then the last one is in-store execution. For the strategic display, it focuses on planogram compliance, specifically securing eye-level placement for maximum visibility. And then for joint business planning, it's aligning target and trading terms with retailers to secure shelf space and support promo activities.
And then we move on to the self-motivation and mobilization. So they have like three steps of it. So the first one is a composition plan. So utilize a combination plan with a performance evaluation involves calibration to weigh qualitative and quantitative result with the crucial behaviors. And then the second one is reward and recognition. So high performance grade A based on calibrated result leads to the salary increase, bonus, and opportunity for promotion or rotation. And the last one is behavioral coaching. So use the PDR system to plan specific developmental needs, and day-to-day monitoring is support by third parties to provide a real-time feedback to sales on display, execution, and stock levels.
Okay, for multiplication analysis, which is relationship and value, they have TPSV. T for transactional, which means a simple buy and sell relationship for small local retail accounts. P for partnership, they have joint business plan, where it's executed with strategic account, share its marketing plan, and the retailer share its expansion plan. S for synergistic, which is the joint forecast level involves a weekly data sharing and feedback. And V for validation, for value addition, is sales where salespeople act as consultant by being sensitive to the retailer's unique needs, offering extra services like menu collaboration and operational consulting to B2B clients.
Okay, so next is worksheet analysis. For the managerial conclusion and strategic decision, we divide it into three categories. The first one is the situational leadership strategy. So the first one is the technical profile. For routine tasks like automation or reporting, high competence allowed for delegation. However, when this same profile faces new challenge like budget negotiation, they require directing or step-by-step guidance. And then the second one is the field sales profile. For relationship management, they may be self-reliant, but when facing rejection or recovering lost account, their commitment may drop, requiring a coaching style or supportive direction rather than micromanagement. Okay, so the next one is exclusion framework using the goal grid. The first one is for tech or admin target. To achieve a 95% system adoption rate, the manager must focus on the daily activity of monitoring login compliance and resolving bugs within 24 hours. Next is for revenue target. To achieve 15% year-on-year growth, the focus must shift to executing 8 routine store visits per day and pitching promo package to 5 new retailer weekly. And the conclusion situational leadership strategy is one size does not fit all. Effective sales management require diagnosing development level by task, not just by person. A single team member can be a self-reliant achiever in one area but a beginner in another. And then the conclusion for executing framework is manage the process, not just the result. We cannot directly control the performance goal. We can only control the process goals that lead to the result.
And then we move on to another managerial conclusion and strategic discussion. So the first one is unlocking motivation and culture. So the first one, it contains difference and drivers. So motivation varies widely across the team from the public recognition and impact to family, stability, and career excellence. Manager must tailor rewards to the specific needs. So they have like their cultural pillar. So they have ACSC. So A stands for accountability, which is demonstrated by checking product freshness, cold chain standard on every visit. And then for the first C, it's like a customer focus. So they demonstrate by actively listening to the retail complaints to improve self placement. And the last C is like a collaboration. So demonstrate by covering a college area during the emergencies to ensure the team hits the regional targets. And then conclusion for motivation and culture, aligning purpose with performance. Sustainable performance comes from connecting business target to individual personal drivers and enforcing a strong team cultures. And then we move on to the managerial rhythm with the 4 IS. So the first one is inspiration. So celebrate specific wins such as securing no new listing for the fresh milk and yogurt or achieve 3 consecutive month above target. And the second one is interaction. So facilitate open forums to discuss a market challenge and such as a price driven competitors and trade spending ROE. And the third one is address its interaction. So it's address skill gaps immediately. For example, using a role play to improve negotiation and objection handling amidst aggressive price competition. And the last one is information. So clearly communicate upcoming strategic stuff such as a launch of a Greek yogurt cups or K2 promos calendar. And the conclusion for the managing rhythm is transforming meetings into strategic asset. Teams meeting must move beyond status updates to become a platform for inspiration, instruction, interaction, and information.
Now, move on to key finding. In total, we find a four point. The first one is strategic evolution. The company successfully shifted from a production-based model to a marketing-based model. This shift was crucial to create consumer demand that matches the natural supply of milk. The second findings is sale role shift, which the sales team is no longer just an order takers, but also act as store consultant. The third one is the shelf war. The reality is eye level is by level. The interview reveals that an intense battle for shelf space against competitors' market leadership is maintained not just by a product quality but by dominating the visual display. The last one is risk reality. Unlike the standard fast-moving consumer goods like shampoos or straws, PT.GFDI operates with high perishability risk, where a single day of chiller failure immediately result in financial loss. PT.GFDI competitive advantage lies in its end-to-end integration. By controlling everything from the farm to the shelf, they can manage the delicate balance between biological supply and market demand better than the competitors who only aggregate milk.
Okay, so next is the recommendation. The first one is consultative sales training. So we're recommending to upskill the sales team from undertaker to business consultant. Training should focus on data-driven selling and negotiation skill to secure prime eye-level shelf space against competitor. The second one is tech-enabled cold chain. So we recommend to strengthen quality control by implementing digital monitoring or IoT or stricter audit protocols for chiller. This ensures the mandatory 0 to 4 degrees Celsius temperature is maintained 24/7 to achieve a zero bed stock target. And then the third recommendation is hyper-localized activation. So we recommend to support the pull strategy, execute the tactical promos or deploy SPGs specifically in store or area with high stock level. This accelerates sell out before the 40-day shelf life expires. Then the last recommendation from us is integrated data sharing. So we recommend to deepen joint business planning or GBP with key retailer by encouraging real-time POS data sharing. This improves forecasting accuracy, reducing the gap between order versus demand, and minimize return.
And for all conclusion, success in the premium dairy market is defined not just by the product quality, but by the PT.GFDI ability to execute a flawless cold chain and demand planning, shifting the sales paradigm from the simple order taking to the strategic consulting that optimize and maximize store level performance. And that's all from us. Thank you, Miss Tita, and every viewers that saw our video. See you in the next video. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.